Joining us now from New York is newsroom editor at UnHerd, James Billot. James, thank you so much for joining us. I want to get straight into it. Donald Trump has begun his transition, announcing a number of nominations for his cabinet. And a new poll shows that a slight majority of registered voters approve of the job President-elect Trump is doing in the lead up to his second White House administration. A Harvard Caps Harris poll found 54% of respondents said that they approve of Trump's performance compared to 40% who said they disapproved. What do you put all this down to?
Well, it's interesting to start because Donald Trump, during his first term in office, he rarely, if ever, scraped above 50% approval rating. So this is definitely quite significant. But I would hasten to add that, much like a boxer before they enter the ring, presidents always ride high until they get smacked in the face. And let's bear in mind, he hasn't actually entered office yet. So we can't read too much into this. But I think the weird and wonderful appointments that he's made in the last few weeks has definitely excited more sections of the base than we'd expect.
While we're looking at Donald Trump, I also want to look at Kamala Harris. Another poll found that Kamala Harris is the top choice of Democrat voters to be the party's nominee for the 2028 presidential election. I'm not so sure about that, but she was ahead of rivals like Gavin Newsom and Josh Shapiro. What do you make of that? I feel like it shows that the Democrats are really in a tough spot at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I had to rub my eyes about 3 times before reading this poll because I just could not believe what I was seeing. Kamala Harris has run 2 of the most vapid, platitudinous, and empty campaigns America has ever seen, at least in the 21st century. I would put this down to high name recognition. Democrats don't seem to know many of the rest of the bench. But I'd also say there was still a bit of a sugar high from her campaign, this whole emphasis on joy and what it means to be a Democrat in 2024. I think when there's a little bit more soul searching, and hopefully there will be, Democrats will come to their senses and get a new leader in place.
And what are the main lessons that the Democrats really need to learn here? Did they just lean too far to the left?
That's a significant part of it. I mean, it's a pretty astonishing victory for Donald Trump. 90% of the country's counties swung right. If that's not a confirmation of how well he performed in this election, I don't know what is. Yes, they swung way too hard on left-wing issues, particularly the trans issue. I mean, Donald Trump really hammered Kamala Harris on that video where she essentially consented to saying that illegals deserve to have some kind of sex change, even if they were just been crossing the border. So yes, some of those more aggressive tendencies they should have been punished for. But also Trump just focused on those bread and butter issues: inflation, housing, crime, immigration. All these things have skyrocketed in the last 4 years, and Democrats did not have an answer to that.
Absolutely. Look, we know celebrities were threatening to leave the country if Donald Trump got in, and there are now reports this morning that Ellen Degeneres and her wife Portia de Rossi have moved to England, and sources have told The Wrap that their primary motivation for this was, you guessed it, Donald Trump. Look, are you surprised? When will celebrities get over their obsession of hating Donald Trump?
Well, I have to say I commend them for doing the reverse Harry and Meghan. I don't know many celebrities that leave America and go back to London, but what I think we do need a bit of context in mind here, in that this was very much after she was cancelled a couple of years ago, and she wasn't finding much work since. I mean, she had a Netflix show last year that completely flopped. So let's just say it's very convenient that this Trump presidency came when it did.
Look, Trump has wasted no time making nominations. One of the more controversial picks is his nominee for Attorney General Matt Gaetz. And a new poll shows that he's among the least favoured of his cabinet nominees. What do you think his chances are of getting confirmed?
Yeah, Matt Gaetz is probably the most interesting pick so far, and probably the most unlikely to make it past Senate confirmation. He has made absolutely no friends in Congress. He actually called Senate the swampiest institution on earth, and CNN actually marked him down as the most anti-establishment figure. Now, to a lot of the MAGA base, that's actually a great sign, and you should wear that as a badge of honor. But when you do need the approval of some of these more establishment Republicans, chances are not looking too good for Matt Gaetz at the moment.